Good evening, students, on what would usually be a wonderful evening to be showing some of you around the haunted sites of Greenwich Village. I am instead seated in my backyard. Yes, it is as gloomy and dreary as me. On quarantine, essentially, right? Isn't that what we're all doing right now? Socially distancing, I believe the experts are calling it, and rightfully so. So, hopefully, like myself, you're enjoying a nice glass of rum while you wallow and miss doing the things that you love the most. For me, scaring the pants off of you folks with some wonderful history and the spooky tales that go along with it. Now, as I am here, instead of wallowing, because we shouldn't be wallowing, we're doing our civic duty by socially distancing. I was thinking, what could I do for my students who are desperately looking for some diversions in this time of COVID-19? So I thought I might call up some of my guide friends and see if any of the rest of the Haunted Manhattan crew had some stories they wanted to share. So hopefully we'll have a couple more of these in the future. But I'm going to start. Let me share with you we'll start with a nice tale, one that's, I guess, a little further away from the spooky and closer to the sweet and the kind, because not all ghost stories have to be terrifying, because, let's face it, ghost stories are history tales, and sometimes history is kind, and sometimes the past is there to remind us that bright things may come in the future. So this is a story that was shared with me actually by a guest on my tour. I asked them at the time, they said they didn't mind me sharing it on the tour. So if you've taken the professor's Greenwich Village tour, you might have heard this story before. Now, as the story goes, there's this young woman, and she had just gotten engaged, and her new fiancé was actually from the Dominican Republic. And so, as they are now engaged, she wants to meet his entire extended family. So they take a nice big long trip. They fly into Santo Domingo, and then from there it's a nice long bus ride to get all the way to the family's estate. And once they arrive, there's the whole family standing outside waiting for this girl to meet the new addition to the family. And she steps out of the vehicle and desperately has to pee. Because, I don't know if you remember this, when you could go outside, you didn't have your home restroom right behind you all day as you do now during this time of quarantining ourselves. So she, of course, politely excuses herself from this entire new extended family she's just meeting, saying, "I'm so sorry, I'll be right back. I cannot wait to meet you, but I desperately need to use your water closet." So she rushes into the home, and she's waving at people, hello, hi, sorry, I'll be right back. And as she is running, she sees this older man. He's kind of apart from the group. He's like he's working in the field, and he looks up and he waves to her, and she says, "Hi, so-and-so's fiance, I'll be right back." And she runs in, and she does what she has to do, and she gets back out and to meet everyone and says hello. It's lovely. Everyone's perfectly lovely. She's marrying this wonderful man. He has a wonderful family. But she gets to the end of the receiving line, essentially, and says to her fiance, "Well, but wait a minute, where's the old man?" And her fiance says, "Well, you've met everyone who's here. I don't know who you could be speaking of." And she says, no. She starts to describe them, and she said, "I saw him working in the field. This is what he looked like." And her fiance stops and says, "Hang on a sec." He goes to the mantle and pulls down a photograph, and he brings the photograph to her. He says, "This guy?" The fiance says, "Yes, that's him. He waved to me. Is he around?" And her fiance says, "No, as a matter of fact, that's our grandfather, and he died about 10 years ago." Like I said, a nice tale to start us off on this little spree of haunted Manhattan mini tales, tales that are not quite on our tours, but that we want to share with you because we love what we do. We love to share stories. We love to share history, and we cannot wait to get back to it once the quarantine is over. So, in the meantime, I hope you are washing your hands, students. I hope you have a nice bottle of something you can enjoy as well. And take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.